Welcome to y'all, ladies and gentlemen out there in the internet land, Webo Vision, wherever you're watching this stream from. You in for another great episode of the Miller Talk Time Show with Trey Carter. I'm your internet host and producer, Joshua Miller. It's my boy over here. Where you at?
Over here chilling, man.
Trey Carter, wave to the people out there in the world.
Going on, you know how I do.
Yeah,
Salute.
boy. So every time in this time when we get started, we always gotta read our disclaimer. Pay attention. The views expressed on this internet show are the views of Joshua Miller, Trey Carter.
That's me.
And not those of the internet. Our opinion is our opinion. So you have a problem with anything we say, just remember we said it, and if you don't like it, what can they do?
Watch something else.
But why in the hell would you wanna do that? And today we got another special guest, the very lovely Miss Joy Rose. Wave to the people out there today.
Hi.
Wave to them. And she is an educator here in the greater Memphis area. We're not going to get into all the details about that, but I'm glad to have her on the show. How you doing today, Miss Rose?
I'm doing
Good to
well,
see you.
and
Good to see you. It's gonna be a juicy show today.
Oh yeah, we got some, we back to our regular format where we talking about different politics news, business sense. We got a couple of other entertainment news to go through today. As you can hear in the background, we bumping that straight West Coast. We want Easy E, rest in peace to you, baby. But you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get to this show. Today's first topic that we got today is...
Spit it out.
Let
Spit
me
it out.
find it. We're gonna deal with today's political news.
Yes,
Something
sir.
she can talk about as well since she's an educator. Today's political news, as you can see on the screen, is U.S. education. It is a global problem. And this is coming from our Commander-in-Chief. Your Commander-in-Chief, my Commander-in-Chief, the people on this panel Commander-in-Chief, Mr. President Barack Obama. So, before I give you my view on things, Trey Carter, tell the people what they need to hear.
Go put the camera on me.
I
All
got
right,
it.
we good. Well, I like the title, U.S. Education Global Problem. And this is something that we never thought about back in the days, but due to the invention of the internet, and now that we do trade with everyone in the world, our competition is not who's sitting next to us in the classroom or who's in the same city as us, but on the same in the same world as us. Because we see outsourcing where people now are getting jobs taken away from them and shipped overseas for a cheaper rate. You also have goods and services that you receive. I also had a class, I took global business. So this was a class that showed me how a Big Mac is made. And they said, look at all the components from your bread, your cheese, the meat, the sauce, all the components, your onions. They said at the end of the day, that burger, like they found the places where, I think it was in Germany, where the cheapest bread was made. So McDonald's sought out them as the bread producers. Then you have these other places where cheese is the cheapest, and you go find out where the meat is the cheapest. And then at the end of the day, you made the most efficient burger. And that's why McDonald's been able to make those 99-cent, $1.50 burgers, because they found at the end of the day they can make this whole sandwich from the global partners for maybe 40 cents. So that's when you need to see that this is not an American thing. So now when it turns to education, you need to make sure you learn, because we're not competing against the other school or the other states. We're competing against Europe. We're competing against Asia. We're competing against all other global partners, and we're losing.
Right.
And we're losing bad. We're not even in the top 10, I don't believe, in many of your science, your mathematics, and the core competencies that you learn in school. So Obama stressed today that our education system needs to definitely become more competitive, not on the national scale, but of course on the international scale, so that we as Americans, our children, our children's children can compete. Because as it looks right now, we're losing.
We're losing. And this is a great topic for discussion with our special guest, as you can see in the split screen here, Ms. Joy Rhodes, which is a great educator, teaching a very highly level grade. I'm not going to say what grade she's teaching, but I mean, tell us about what your opinion is, because you've been teaching now for about a year or so, a couple of years or whatever, fresh out of college or whatnot, and you have a great experience with dealing with kids. So tell us what you think is one of the major issues with our education problem as it is today?
I don't think that there's just one issue, actually. I think it's a complexity of issues. The teachers, sometimes it's an issue of the resources themselves. It's an issue of the parents, and then it's an issue of the students. A lot of times it seems like the more opportunities students have, the less they take advantage of them. Right. There are a lot of opportunities that even, neither one of us have been out of school that long. And in that short amount of time, they've made so many opportunities, more opportunities available for these children that they're absolutely not taking advantage of at all. And where you think that they would be growing and becoming better citizens and better products of, our society, they're actually becoming worse. And I don't know if it's an issue that, discipline has been taken out of the school or what has happened. But in some instances, it seems like they have less because they're offered more.
Well, the great thing about what we're talking about today is because a couple of weeks ago when our president, your president, my president as well, talked about in his State of the Union address, he spoke on education and said that it starts at home with the parents first because, the teachers do spend a great deal with the students, 8 hours out the day on a regular public school level basis, or 7 hours, however you look at it. But it does start at the house. So what do you think is being at home with these kids, parents working all day, dropping their kids off at school, they're not spending enough time with them at home as far as catering to their educational skills. Does that play a great role with it as well? Because you're just the educator, you're not that parent.
Right.
So how do you feel when the parents are not being parents and not teaching them at home?
I think it can go both ways. I was raised in a single family environment. My dad was there, but he never lived with me. He never helped me with any homework. And my mom had to work. She had a family she had to take care of.
Right.
So, yes, it would be nice if parents could help their kids more with their homework. But truth of the matter is, some parents can't help them, even if they wanted to help them, even if they had the time to help them. They don't have the educational background or they don't remember enough about the subject to help them. My mom never pushed me to do my work, but I just so happened to be the type of person that got my work done. It was important to me to do my work. I pushed myself. Some students aren't like that, and they need to be pushed. Some parents push their students, and they still don't do things. So like I said, we try to come up with answers, and people can name one thing and the next person may name another thing, and it's everything. It's a lot of things. It's a complex issue. I don't have the answer. I try to make things better in my classroom.
Right.
I realize that students will bring in things from the home, and that their entire environment does affect their learning process. So, I'm not the type of teacher that thinks that it's only going to be my subject.
Right.
And I actually encourage them to bring in their background. If they think that, what they learn at home or what they learn on a cartoon is going to help them remember something in my class, by all means use it. Some teachers aren't like that. So, it's a really complex issue, but, something does need to be done about it because, like Trey said, we are lagging behind. And it's a sad thing because we are one of the most developed countries. So why are we lagging behind?
But Trey Carter, this is a great topic for you as well. Because am I correct? Your mother is a
retired educator.
So you dealt in the house where the parent was a parent first and an educator as well. Right. So you had both, and you got a business degree from FAMU and everything. So tell us about your experience with dealing with this situation.
Well, I think it was a change in what was taught, as well as also a moral, ethical, and a social change that happened. I think people stopped caring as much for their fellow man, woman.
When you say people, are you just saying
the
parents?
American
or
citizens?
Just Americans in general?
American citizens. When I can say the village thought to raise a child, that has skewed. Their people now is more individualized. It's more dealing about instant gratification. Usually money is the issue. If you just get people out the way, continue to keep this, now teaching to some is a check versus empowering kids to become better and learn more and give them that foundation to be great.